So this is the tutorial for how to make a map. We're going to be using MapCustomizer.com. I've created an account on it with our Culture, Creativity, and Cities Gmail address and that standard password. And you can use that one or you can create your own account. It doesn't really matter. In any case, here is the interface. You can enter locations over here, a description of the location, and then add location to map. I'm going to show you how. When you first come, you might want to do create new map if multiple people are creating maps out of the same account. And you're going to want to make sure you hit save when you're done. In any case, so we're going to go back to our spreadsheet here, which you saw from the last tutorial. And here we have UTSC, and I have the address here, so I'm just going to copy it. Go over here, enter the address, and do description, UTSC, add location to map. And there it is. We have the location here. You can change the color of the marker or different things, and we'll show you how to use that too. First, I'm just going to go through and do some different ones. So here we have St. George. I'm going to add that one. Right, UTSG, add location to map. There we go. Now we have that one too. We have this one over here. Let's do the next one. We'll do Mississauga. Copy. UTM, add location to map. Ryerson. Add location to map. You can just hit return. You don't have to hit add location to map if you don't want to. York. And then lastly, let's do OCAD. Okay, so for these sample data, we now have this. Let's say we want to change the color of our pins to, say, the Greater University of Toronto system. We're going to make all of that, let's say, this color here. UTSG is going to be the same color there. And UTM will be the same color here. And then let's say you're thinking, you know what? I actually think that OCAD is fundamentally different from these other schools a little bit, right? It really specializes in art and design rather than a broad liberal arts teaching experience. So we're going to make that a different color, and just to beautify things a little bit rather than having these number counts, we're going to just make Ryerson in York red, right? Or maybe we want Ryerson in York to be red because they're private. As opposed to public institutions. I don't actually know if OCAD is public or not. I'm going to guess not. So why don't we make that? So now we have public institutions would be our yellow pins, and private institutions would be our red pins. So we're starting to get a spatial analysis of how things work here. A second way to do this, if you want, is to just take the whole spreadsheet and you can do bulk entry. And there's a lot of directions here for how to do bulk entry that you can play around with. We're not going to do that right now. So with our sample data, we now have our map. We're going to save it. Our map name is going to be sample map using university data. We're going to save map here. Obviously, you're going to have a lot more pins for whatever you're doing. Here's our map. And the last thing you're going to want to do is, remember, you're going to want to embed a picture of your map in your blog post. And if you're on a PC, that's pretty easy. You can just hit start. Take the snipping tool right here. I just typed in SN and the snipping tool came up. You'll see it right there. I'm going to click new. I want to make sure I get all my data points in my map. There we go. And let's say I say, oh, you know what? Actually, I want to make this a little bit more narrow. So I can just click new again. Start over. Oh no, look. I cut off UTSC that time. Let's try one more time. And I still cut off UTSC a little bit again, but we'll pretend that I didn't. And then you can just do save, desktop, maps. And then you will have it saved right there on your desktop. Of course, you're going to have more data, and you can play around with colors in different ways and in ways that make sense for your data, but this is basically the way this works. So now if we go to my maps, sample map data right here, view, edit, delete. Right? You can can see it right there. And it's still there. So I hope this helps.